want to get to how progressives are taking over the country. Is it in the polling that you're talking about that the majority of us want the same things?
Yes.
So how do we beat back corporate media, which owns and controls everything? I tell my students, I just had my journalism class, actually I had my talk radio class up today from Hunter College, and we talk about this frequently. You know, there's now very few people owning all media. Even Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post, right? You know, Elon took over Twitter, which is a media company. You got Facebook over here, which drives much of the misinformation, right? And Cambridge Analytica. Let's not even talk about that. So the billionaires own most of our media. Even though Rupert Murdoch, 92-year-old crusty ass, just stepped down, is still, but he was there for long enough, and his whole family still owns. So media is in the hands of a very few amount of people. When Powell allowed for him in particular to own radio, TV, and a newspaper in the same market, it was Katie bar the door. How do we get it back? Cenk?
Yeah. So that's what Chapter 6 is about.
Okay, Chapter 6, and Justice is Coming. That's Chapter 6. Okay.
So let me explain it as quickly as I can. And by the way, you can get it at TYT. That's like the Young Turks. TYT.com/justice is where people can order it. So now, there's two things that are huge advantages for us. That's why every reviewer is saying this book is weirdly hopeful. It explains to you exactly what's wrong, so you get like depressed, like how could we beat this monster? Just like Karen just said, this is a behemoth. How do we beat it? Well, the good news is the young are super progressive,
right,
and they are coming. So even within the Democratic primaries, even in states that Biden won handily, Bernie would win the vote by about 40 points among the young. Sometimes if the younger you go, the more he wins it, 50 points, 60 points, okay? So, but now the young used to be 25, 29, et cetera. Now the young in the last election were 45-year-olds. Now in this election, those folks are going to be at 49. And if you notice, now I'm worried to death about Biden, as you guys saw, but the Democrats did great in the midterms, and Biden won in 2020 because we had a surge of young voters. And that surge put them over the top in those three swing states. They won the election for. So, and it's not just about progressives versus establishment Democrats within the Democratic Party. No, Frank Luntz, the top Republican pollster of our lifetimes, his hair is on fire. He's like, Republicans, turn around. That's right. His toupee's on fire. Okay, Karen's 100% right. So he's like, turn around. We've lost all the young. We're going to lose elections from now on. And that is partly why they did the coup attempt. Because it's in their bones. They know they're going to lose. They know by the time we reach 2028, it is good night Irene for the Republican Party.
Well, they did the autopsy. They know that the only way to move forward was, because here's the other trick. Most black people, if you're talking demographics, are conservative. You know, we church going, we love the Lord, you know, all of those family value things, tired of seeing two mommies on the Cheerios commercial, whatever. People, y'all know, okay? The messaging could be so easy for them. You know, Martin Luther King Sr. was a Republican. We can get back to that, right? But they didn't want to do it. They went the opposite. And to your point, though, they come out in droves, and we go, why? I'm voting the same bird, two wings. I can't vote for Biden. I'm going to sit home. I'm going to vote for Cornel West. I'm going to write in my name. So it's all of this where they're completely on the same page. This is a scary time, I feel, for us. Are you scared?
Yeah, it's existential for the Republicans. Even though they look ascendant, they're actually on their last legs. The only way that they win is... And the rest of them, even as much as I hate DeSantis, et cetera, none of them have ever tried a coup before. None of them have ever lost and say, I don't give a goddamn. And Trump had a 3-hour meeting about rolling out tanks, about doing martial law against the American people. Okay. Everyone in the room said that they would resign if he did it. That's the only reason he turned around. Next time, he's going to fill the room with a bunch of lackeys who are going to say, oh, yeah, they roll out the tanks. That's why they're going in that direction, because they know it's existential. They're almost done, right? So there's tons of hope out there. But this election, we must unite. Now, normally that's a trick, in my opinion, by the Democratic establishment. They go, oh, yeah, we must unite. I go, okay, great. Let's unite around Bernie. They're like, oh, no. We didn't mean him. You have to unite around our guy, not your guy. Why? Well, who agreed to that? But at this point, we got a monster on the other side. And I'm not saying, like, if it turns out that Biden never drops out, no one ever runs against him, and he's the candidate, it is what it is.
Cenk, you voting for him?
Of course I am.
Okay, that's all. I just need to get that on the record. All right.
Yeah.
866-801-8255. Let's take some callers because we have a very brilliant audience. George in Kentucky.
I'm doing calls.
George in Kentucky, welcome to the Karen Hunter Show. You're on with Cenk Uyger. Kevin Powell is here as well. Hey.
Hey, my name is George. I am a 55-year-old male from Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville.
I'm looking to, I listen to Young Turks and a lot of things quite often, but respectfully, I have to kind of disagree. I grew up in Kentucky. I'm a voting person in Kentucky for over 20-plus years. What we see going on is the elephant in the room that nobody's speaking about. You speak of specific things that people want, like paid family leave, those things, higher raises, but they're not separating on us on issues like that. What they're separating on is the elephant in the room and the white man's fear of America becoming too black and brown. And I know that to be so because I am in Kentucky, where Andy Beshear has not only benefited us economically, but also stood behind us for a lot of social changes. But what separates them is to put a black man in front of you who will say or be the Uncle Tom to all the specific issues that you just spoke about that don't pertain to everyday living.
Wow.
Thoughts?
So, look, the problem with the Democratic Party is that they do not emphasize their own policies. So if you're right, we're not talking about paid family leave. Why aren't we talking about paid family leave? That's because Biden hasn't fought for it. Kamala hasn't fought for it. None of the Democratic leaders have fought for it. Now, what kind of incompetence does it take to have an issue where you're at 84% and you never even bring it up?
So why? So let's walk through that. Why wouldn't they bring it up?
Okay, two reasons why. One is one you'll understand it right away, right? Everybody in the audience will, which is that Biden is an old school Democrat, which is kumbaya, we all get along. In every speech, he says, my Republican friends. I want the Republican Party to be stronger. It makes me tear out all my hair. I don't. I want them to be weak. I want us to crush them, and then we'll be good to them afterwards, right? Because we believe in reconciliation, right? We believe in redemption and a path to justice and the righteous stream of justice that Martin Luther King talked about. But first we win, okay? And so, but for the Biden guys, the old school Democrats, they think the way to win is to pretend to be Republican light. Like, oh, I love the Republicans. I'm kind of Republican. No, you're telling everybody to vote for the other side. Stop telling them to vote for the other side. And so they think it's kind of almost rude to talk about your own policies and emphasize them. So that's like just an old school way of thinking that's outdated and doesn't work, et cetera. But there's a bigger factor here. The reality is, and this is why I'm a progressive and against what I would call establishment Democrats or corporate Democrats, those guys are hooked on corporate donors. At 24/7, they're begging corporate donors to give them money. So anything that helps corporations passes. So infrastructure bill is good, but at first it helps corporations. Second, it helps unions. Third, it helps the average American. The semiconductor bill is good, but it's just a giant $54 billion subsidy to corporations. And if it trickles down on you, it may be 20 years later and you'll never know it, right? So everything's going towards corporations. Everything's voting rights. That doesn't help corporations at all. So it's not prioritized. Paid family leave hurts the corporation's bottom line. So they're like, no, I don't care if it's at 98% popularity. I just gave you $1 million. You shut up and don't talk about paid family leave. Like, give me one populist Democrat will win in a landslide. I'll give you two quick examples. One is on the same issue we've been talking about. He comes out and says, you're going to make the moms go back to coal mines and assembly lines the day after they deliver? The day after. That's the current law. 85% of moms have to go back to work the next day. It's insanity. It's insane. No other developed country does it. Most non-developed countries don't do it. Estonia has 82 weeks of paid family leave. We have 0 days. You know what's going to happen? Every conservative, every independent, most importantly, the independents are going to go, wait a minute, why are the Republicans anti-mom? How, right?
Right.
And then GM right now, we got the strike going on.
Right.
You know how much taxes GM has paid on average? 1%.
No, we've been talking about this banging that gong because it just doesn't make any sense that there's negotiate, especially the head of Ford. It's $29 million. They're giving themselves a 40% raise every year.
Yeah.
And you don't want to break off something for the folk that make the cars that make you make money, but they make money the CEOs when they can make the margins smaller, when they can reduce the salaries, when they can reduce the pensions. That's how CEOs make money. And that has to change in this country because that's the only way we win.
So, Karen, you are totally right. And so let me just give you like 15, 30 seconds of what a Democratic candidate could sound like. And then you tell me if they're more likely to win or less likely to win if they sound like this. Which side am I on? Because Biden and Trump get asked this, right? Which side am I on between the striking workers and the companies? Not a close call. I'm with the American worker. And why doesn't that CEO give the $29 million back if they're struggling? Okay, give me the $29 million back right now, okay? And you pay 1% taxes, you kidding me? I'm going to make you pay all your taxes, okay? You're going to disrespect your workers. You're going to say they're dirt. You're going to say they don't earn the money, but all your CEOs earn $29 million and all of a sudden they earn it. They got a 40% raise and now you won't give it to the workers and you're sitting on $8 billion of profit last year. $8 billion. Where's the money? Where's the money? I drag the CEO right now in front of a House hearing or a Senate hearing and you're going to have accountability. Now you tell me, is that guy going to win or not win?
Well, that woman probably would win.
That's right. That's right. Give me
866-801-8255.
Nina Turner and I'll win this
Oh,
thing in 1
now
second.
you keep stepping in a puddle. You're going well, and then there's the damn pothole. All right.
No, she's strong. Give me a strong black
Stop
woman.
it.
I will win this
I'm
election.
not saying Nina's not strong, but stop.
All right, we'll get into it another time.
866-801-8255. Shout out to everybody. All right, Kelvin in Tennessee, you're on. Cenk Uyger is here. Kevin Powell, welcome to the Karen Hunter Show. Hi. Kelvin.
Hey.
Be ready. Let's go.
No, I'm ready.
Okay.
First of all, TYT forever. Watch it every day. Love it. Honored to be on the same program with you.
Thank you.
One thing I wanted to say, and I've heard it and saw it a couple of days on MSNBC, why do the Republicans, even Nikki Haley, who is, by the way, spoiler alert, not a white woman, so much against Kamala Harris? You know, they want Biden to fall over and die, or at least want to scare us into thinking that. And then they, including Christie, say we cannot have Kamala Harris as president. So I just want to ask, and even on any of the programs, they never bring up the fact that maybe America just does not want a woman as president. And in addition to that, they don't want to try the black experience or experiment again.
Well,
yeah,
Cenk.
I think so. Calvin, first of all, thank you, brother. Thank you for watching TYT. Thank you for participating in the show here with Karen. So I think Kamala's a mixed bag. So on the one hand, when I see her speak, I go, there's something wrong. I don't know what's wrong, but there's something wrong. Why is she constantly repeating things 8 different times? There's something. I wish there wasn't something wrong, but it feels like there is. Okay. Now, but that's not why Chris Christie and Nikki Haley, et cetera, are attacking her. They're attacking her because she's a black woman. And they're definitely saying, like, you really want this in charge? And Calvin's right. Spoiler alert, Nikki Haley's not white either. But it's a way, like, when she attacks another woman of color, what she's signaling to Republicans is, I'm safe. I'm one of the good ones. Don't worry.
No,
right?
What she's saying is I'm white. 866-801-8255. White's a construct.
Yeah,
it's not,
I hear you.
You know,
Yeah.
some people may think you're white. 866-801-8255 is a construct, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
Nikki
totally.
Haley's telling them, I like the Confederate flag. That's our heritage. I fought with her on that. And she's white to them. They have, it's a weird kind of psychosis. Barack Obama had an argument with somebody over how much he was more white than black because he was raised by white grandparents and his mother was white. I had an argument on a golf course in Florida over which made it comfortable for this man to vote for him because he was more white than black. We have a weird nation. I don't know if it's going to continue. Maybe it needs to go away. 866-801-8255. Let's go to Chris in South Carolina. I'm going to take a break after that. Chris, you're on. Cenk Uyger is here. Kevin Powell is here. Hi.
Oh, hey, Karen. It's been a while since I called you. The thing that kind of bothers me about what I'm hearing is that the narrative that's being fed here, that there's zero impetus on the Democratic voter to, if you don't know what the Biden and Harris administration has done, look it up. If you're not on message and you don't understand what's happening, look it up. And it's not that it's not hard to find. It's that we should actually have this a type of society, or be a type of informed voter bloc, that if we're going to criticize something, we should at least look it up first. Hey, is it true that Biden's really not done anything for the black community?
He didn't say that.
Let me go look it up first. No, I'm not saying that you did. What I'm saying is that
what's giving you, because I feel some tension in the voice, Chris, and I just want to know what most bothers you about what you're hearing today.
What most bothers me about it is the people that are going to show up in November of 2024 on the other side don't need to be convinced of anything.
Okay.
They already know what they're doing.
They know what they're voting for. I agree with you, but to the point, we have a vast country with 320 million plus people. 100 million people sat out the last election. 100 million more people sat out than voted because there is a discomfort with the way the country is being run, and there's also a feeling that my vote doesn't matter, right? And the Republicans are voting right now for Trump. They're not voting Republican. They're voting for Trump. It has nothing to do with Republican ideology, what they've done for the country or not. They're voting their fear, and they're voting their whiteness. Period. Full stop. And anyone that can tap into that thinks that they can get that vote as well. But Trump is a singular force, right? He's something unique, and I don't think we've seen this in a while, since probably Reagan, since Obama maybe.
Yeah. So let me handle Chris's comment in long term and short term. In the long term, I think that is couple phenomenon here. Yeah. So Trump has magnified the bigotry, racism, etc. for sure. There's no question about that. And he's amplified it, and it's motivating people, and they feel power slipping out of their hands, etc. But there is a second part of why Trump is popular, which is that he told the establishment, F off. And this country hates the establishment. Every poll shows that over 80% hate the establishment politicians. They hate establishment media, etc. And we're whistling past the graveyard. So when the Democrats keep doing corporate stuff, corporate giveaways, and never delivering, they're withering away trust. But most importantly, Chris, it's not whether you and I look things up. We all looked it up, and then after we look it up, we could have debates. I think Biden did 20% of his agenda. You could think he did 60%. That's okay. That's a great debate, right? But that's not the issue, because in the short term, we have got to get people to vote, and just saying to them, go look it up, isn't going to help,
right? Because
the people that are looking it up are already voting. They're the high propensity voters. The people not voting are the ones that don't look it up and aren't going to look it up. So you have to appeal to them. You have to win their vote. You have to win it. How do you win it? You win it by delivering. You win it by speaking in the way that I spoke before, where you connect with the average guy and you show them that you're fighting for him. You know what our audience says? Number one thing they say about Biden is, on things like higher minimum wage, paid family leave, voting rights, they say, get caught trying. Okay, like if you tried and your best, and we saw you fighting the Republicans tooth and nail and you lost, we love you, brother. It's okay, right? Then you lost. But he didn't get caught trying. He barely tried at all. And then that's what frustrates people. And most importantly, that has the folks that are hard to reach, the ones that are the least likely to vote, it just puts them out of politics completely.
Well, if y'all want more of this, Justice is Coming. That's the book. I want to leave people with something to chew on. How progressives are going to take over the country, and America is going to love it. It's all in here, chapter and verses. Man, put it down. Cenk Uyger, thank you for being here today. It's a pleasure meeting you. I think it's your first time on the Karen Hunter Show.
It is.
All right, then come back.
Absolutely.
You have an open seat. Let's keep having these debates. We got to keep talking. This is what this country's about. Nice to meet everyone in this.
I run my fingers through her hair as she smiles and says that she loves me. Isn't it lovely when the one you love thinks